Donald Trump has made many threats against Canada since, of course, becoming president of the United States again back in January. He has threatened tariffs on them and then threatened more tariffs. And then after that, he threatened even more tariffs and more and more and more. And in between all of that, he has repeatedly insulted Canadian leaders, including former Prime Minister Trudeau, calling him Governor Trudeau, and repeatedly told us that Canada would be the greatest 51st state of the great United States. And if they did that, he would treat them like his favorite child, Ivanka, and, they wouldn't have to pay any tariffs. But he's made lots of threats against Canada. And the thing is, you can't exactly do that and expect for the country to still consider you a top ally. And a poll that was released this week proves that Donald Trump's rhetoric and his actions against Canada have possibly forever tarnished America's reputation in their minds. Because according to this new poll, 59% of Canadians, a majority, say that the biggest threat to their country is now the United States of America. The last time this poll was conducted, before Donald Trump came into office, a majority of Canadians said, no, the biggest threat to our country is China. But today, because of Donald Trump and solely because of Donald Trump, a majority of Canadians say, nope, our neighbors below us, our downstairs neighbors, they represent the biggest threat to our country. That is how badly Donald Trump has destroyed the standing of the United States across the globe. And it gets even weirder too, because 25% viewed the U.S. as both their country's top ally and its top threat. So a quarter of Canadians are saying, listen, they're our top ally. We get that. We understand it. That if we need something, we go to America. At the same time, they're our biggest threat to our way of life. And that is an unfortunate position for them to be in. And remarkably, those numbers are almost identical to what this poll also found with our neighbors to the south in Mexico. In Mexico, 68% of respondents viewed the U.S. as the country's top threat, while 20% said it was both their top ally and their top threat. So our neighbors to the north, a majority of them say, you guys are our biggest threat. To the south, a majority of them say, you guys are our biggest threat. We rely on Canada. We rely on Mexico. We do, in fact, have trade deficits with both these countries because we need more from them than they need from us. Okay, that's how that works. I believe we have a trade deficit with Mexico. Don't quote me on that. That's not necessarily something I've looked up. I do know for a fact we have a trade deficit with Canada. But either way, we depend on them. They depend on us. They're currently in the process of basically hating us and being terrified of us. We have seen less Canadian tourism into the United States this year than we had in any year since COVID. They are starving us of their investment dollars, according to another report that came out this week. They're starving us of their tourism dollars, and they're fearful of what we would do to them. You know, as the old saying goes, good fences make good neighbors. And right now, we don't have those good fences. We have a wannabe dictator that wants to feed Mexicans to alligators down here in Florida and wants to annex the people in Canada and force them to live under his rule. Kind of like Putin with Ukraine. This is not something that gets turned around overnight. And this is not something that can be overlooked or dismissed. This is important. Our standing in the rest of the world is important. It is vital. And Donald Trump, in under 6 months, has almost completely destroyed it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.